Hello, hello, hello. I hope everyone is having a great day and a great Global Hack Week. How is everyone doing? Feel free to drop where you're tuning in from and if you saw my stream from yesterday. I see 404 in chat. I also see Rati Jindal. 404 is saying the music is so good. I agreed. And Rati Jindal saying agreed for sure. So, yeah. Oh, I see Anushka in chat saying I'm the man of the hour. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. And then 404 saying this is his first stream ever for sure. 100%. So, yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. So, hello everyone, I'm Ryan Lalu. You probably have seen me before, either in person or in other Global Hack Week streams. I'm a coach at Major League Hacking, I'm a Figma enjoyer, and a D1 yapper. So if any other questions about Figma, ask me. There's a 99% chance I'll know the answer. So let's talk about a few things before we get started. So first off, again, thank you for coming. During this workshop, we're going to be covering how to get access to Figma Dev Mode. We're going to be covering the Figma fundamentals, learning and working with Dev Mode, building a quick project, and then bringing it to life and seeing it work inside of our browser. So what is Figma? Well, their motto is making designs accessible for all. You'll find very shortly that they really do make designs accessible for all. So this data is accurate as of before Config this year, which is Figma's annual conference. Figma had 4 products. Now I think they have 7 products. But their most popular one is Figma Design. It is probably what you're most familiar with when you hear Figma. So Figma Design is an online multiplayer canvas. It's free. You can use it. And pretty much every industry user uses Figma at some point in their career. You can create, share, test designs, make websites, mobile apps, wireframes, etc. Think of it as Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop, but multiplayer. Their next most popular one is FigJam. FigJam is like online multiplayer whiteboards. Think of it as a whiteboard, but in the cloud, where you can access it with friends. You can use shapes, text, drawings, etc. to get your designs on there and your ideas on paper, or on figurative paper. Next is Figma Slides. So Figma Slides is what we're using right now for the slideshow. It is honestly, I think, to myself, better Google Slides if you like designing. And yeah, it's a really nice way to design with intent. That way you're able to get your message across. Hopefully these slides get my message across of how nice Figma is to use. And next is Figma Dev Mode. So Figma Dev Mode is online multiplayer whiteboards. It's an online multiplayer development tool where you're able to work with your peers to convert these designs into code. And we'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end of this workshop. So today, we'll luckily be using Figma Design and Dev Mode. So why learn Figma? Well, Figma is the industry's leading and standard tool used by the vast majority of Fortune 500s and startups. So pretty much everybody uses it. And if you want to create a project, you don't have to start from scratch. You can start with these design systems that are already inside of Figma's community. So for example, we have iPadOS and iOS by Apple. If you want to design Swift UIs, we have Material 3 Design by Google. So if you want to design stuff for Android or anything with the Material Design System, this is for you. And we have Figma's Simple Design System. So if you don't know what design system you want to use off the ground, you can use the SDS and have a starting ground rather than creating everything from scratch. I see D Sakshue saying my first encounter was Figma Slides, and I was like, what the heck happened? Because I was helping a peer on PowerPoint. No, for sure. It is definitely a little different than PowerPoint and Google Slides. But the nice part is there's so much design tools. So if you have familiarity with Figma design, then you'll be all set for Figma Slides. But yeah, definitely seeing it for the first time is a little daunting, a little scary, but that's because it's very, very powerful. Also want to give a quick shout out to the link that's below me in chat. Check in at https://events.mlh.io events 12718 if you want to get points for the swag this this Global Hack Week. So if you want the free swag for season launch, use that link below. All right, and you may be asking yourself, why should you use why should you use Figma Design or Figma Dev Mode over V0 and ChatGPT? Well, quite easily put, design. The idea here is you want to design with intent. If you don't design with intent, you're then giving this AI or letting this AI afford all of the creative decisions and the designs to make it better for the user. So TLDR, you get to actually be deliberate in the way you design. That's why you use it. But Figma has released Figma AI, and I think another Figma AI tool that kind of bridges this gap between having AI make your decisions, design decisions, and having you make your design decisions. They found a middle ground with their new product. And how does it work like in the real world? Well, again, most teams, especially in enterprise, use Figma. It is a great tool to use, and using it now will help you in your future. And I see 404 in chat saying, my first Figma encounter was at a hackathon as well. I got so scared of Figma, I don't think I've still quite recovered. For sure, Figma is quite a bit to learn, but it is one of those tools that I feel like are easier to learn than the professional counterparts like Illustrator, but they're also extremely powerful still. They're powerful, a little complicated, but not as complicated as what industry other industry leading tools use. And I see Original Ferris saying, is it the same as yesterday or next step? Yeah, this is the exact same stream as yesterday by Kari. Hopefully, if you watch this again, you get something new out of it. I see Anushka saying, I can't speak Spanish, I'm sorry. Use Figma for ideation and V0 to turn your ideas to code. You can integrate V0 with Figma. That is true. V0 actually has to use Figma now. You can integrate your design straight to it, which is pretty cool. First time I came across Figma, it was a front-end developer. How have me only Figma designs to make the whole backend? Yeah, so Figma can't make your backends for you, unfortunately. If you're looking for something pretty similar, you might want to look towards Lucid. Lucid Charts has a feature where you're able to turn ER diagrams straight into SQL tables. It's our SQL query strings or stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And then DSaxway says, oh, is it? Then I guess I'll use V0 parallels as I need something like that. Yeah, you can use V0. You can also use, I think it's called Figma AI. It's one of their new products that will actually bridge the gap as well. But yeah, also a con of using V0 is that you're vendor locked into using Shadcn UI. For most people, that will work, but if you're working on an enterprise application, or maybe you're trying to work with your own design system, it won't really work out. So quick warning with using V0. So moving on to the slides, where can you use Figma? Well, quite simply put, you can use it everywhere. It's in your web browser, it's in your desktop and mobile. So if you have a phone, you can use Figma on the Figma app. And you can also use it inside of your IDE with the VS Code extension. It is pretty neat, pretty awesome. And if you're wondering how this all works, it's an Electron app. It's pretty cool. So let's work on getting access to Dev Mode. So Dev Mode is free for students. However, you have to prove that you are a student to get access. This is really important to note. Also, the way Figma works is Figma has their licenses by teams, not by individual. So what they will do is they will create, once you get this account, they will create a team for you that you only have access to. And that is where the project has to be to get the entitlements or the features that come with Pro. So that's a quick caveat. However, Figma did remove the access to have personal, like your personal section. There used to be 2 sections, teams and your personal, where you're able to have drafts in your personal and your team. They removed the personal, I think, a year ago, so now it's only team. So hopefully you should be able to get this working right out of the box. So if you want to get access, use mlh.link/Figma. That is probably the easiest way to get access to it. And just sign in, should take about 5 minutes. I think you need to provide a proof of education, so a transcript, an ID with an expiration date, etc. And I will give everyone here about 2 minutes. Yeah, cutie. Yesterday's class is repeated today. Yeah, we are holding the exact same stream. It's just for people who are busy with school or work on Fridays to come in on Saturday. Yeah, so it's a great tool to use. And while we do that, I am going to lower this ticker. Give me 1 second. All right, there you go. And now you should be able to see the entire screen. Okay, and then I'm going to change the music as well. Let's see what's good. Let's find a fun one. Let's do this one. Let's do some lo-fi. All right. Yeah, so both of them are the same. We're both holding, Kari and I are holding Figma Dev workshops. They're pretty much the exact same. But even if it's your first time, hopefully you get something new out of seeing it again. Sorry, if it's your second time, hopefully you see something new here. And yeah, let's go ahead and continue. So let's learn a little bit about Figma design. So again, Figma design might be a little daunting at first if it's your first time, but after a tiny bit, it should be pretty intuitive. So Figma design has 4 main sections that you may see right here. It has the toolbar, the left and right sidebars, and a canvas. So the most important one is the canvas. The canvas is your working area. Think of this is where all of your elements are, or all of your frames. So there are 2 main ways to navigate, which I find when I help people out, they normally don't know how to navigate around. There is panning and zooming. Depending on what you're using, you might want to use different or one of these instructions. So I'm on a trackpad right now, so I want to slide with 2 fingers to pan around, and then I want to pinch in and out with 2 fingers to zoom in and out. So panning with 2 fingers, sliding it around. Zooming is pinching with 2 fingers. Next is the toolbar. So the toolbar has quite a bit to it, and it actually changed pretty recently after Figma Config, or Figma's Config conference. But the main ones we'll be using today is Move with the B button, F for frame, R for shape, and T for text. The left sidebar gets a little bit more complicated here. It has a few main areas. We see right here on the top left a menu. We see more menu options here for your file name, file location, and any other settings that aren't covered in this main menu. We have the File tab and the Asset tab. The Asset tab is where you're able, or I guess panel, is where you're able to view local components or find components from kits or libraries. We won't be using this during this workshop, but we will be using the File tab, where we're able to see all of our pages and our layers. So pages, think of it as multiple sheets in a Google Sheet or in an Excel document. And below it, we'll have our layers. And our layers is where we're able to show all of the elements in our UI. And the most complicated aspect is the right sidebar. So there's 2 types of interaction flows with this. When you select an element, you will see this sidebar over here, this right one. If you are clicking on an element, you will see this left sidebar. So the right sidebar is how, If you don't select anything, then you'll see properties. You can explore some properties. That's what this is saying right here. This right here is the prototype flow. This is how you create animations. Let's say you want to create a button, and when you click the button, it takes you to a new design or a new page flow. That's how you would do it here. And then you have the design tab. The design tab is how you interact with all of the properties and elements. So think of it like you click a rectangle and you want to change the color. You want to change the border radius over here or the alignment of it. This is where you would do it here. I see a question in chat. Where can you get these slides? As D. Sakshue said, if you sign in and check into the workshop, you'll get the slides right after the workshop ends. Yeah, so as Anushka is saying in chat, you can smart animate with the prototype tab, which is pretty neat. So continuing on here, there is so much more, and if you want to view it all, you can go to mlh.link/Figma resources. That's where you can see the Figma Learn docs, everything like that. So let's create our project now. So we're going to work on creating a UI card project where we create multiple cards and create a gallery of it. So let's begin. So I have some instructions here on how to do it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do it all live here and together. So as you can see, we have a few of them from previous Global Hack Week streams. Let's go ahead and make a brand new one here. So I'm gonna go to a new part of this canvas and begin. So what I'm gonna do is, let me see if I can get my slides as well so I can follow along. We're gonna create a text box. So before I begin, actually, does anybody want to create a theme for me or a theme for these UI cards that we can use? For reference, before we've used, we did Hack the North, and then we also did HackCon. So anybody, if you want to select a theme, feel free to drop it in chat. I see hackers eating pizza and cyberpunk glass morphism. Okay, y'all are getting close. I'm looking for themes that are similar for, in terms of content for the cards. So what we want the image to look like and what we want the card text to have. So we could do hackers eating pizza. Anybody have any other ideas? Capybara. Okay, how about we do a hybrid of hackers eating pizza with capybaras next to them? Let's do that. So I'm gonna create actually I'm gonna go down a little bit. I'm gonna create a text box over here, and I'm gonna type my experience at a hackathon. Yeah, my what's a good verb for that? My blank experience at, let's do a fun hackathon. Let's do LA. Nah, what's a more fun one? Let's do Cal Hacks. Yeah, let's do Cal Hacks. So my roller coaster experience at Cal Hacks. I hope I'm spelling that right. Is that how you spell it? Yeah, that is how you spell it. LOL. My roller coaster experience at Cal Hacks. So what I'm gonna do is, oh, I see. Chat, do we agree pineapple on pizza is peak? I for sure agree. Pineapple on pizza is bar none. Okay, so I'm gonna select this text here. I'm going to change the font size to 24, and I'm going to change the font weight to bold. After that, I am then going to create a rectangle here. I'm just going to drag around, create a rectangle here, and yeah, and then I'm going to create a description right after that. So let me go to that. We're going to create a text box here, and I'm going to preemptively change this to 16-point font, change this to a regular font weight, and I'm going to type in at Cal Hacks. I had the roller coaster experience of, or I guess I had the enlightening opportunity to eat pineapple pizza while petting capybaras at their fictional petting zoo. It was an experience to remember, and I hope to come back soon. Okay, so we have that text there. It is fictitious. I might even say my fictitious. Is that how you spell fictitious? Okay, that's how you spell fictitious. I cannot spell. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I can't spell. 404. It's okay. It's okay. Bad opinions will change over time. You will become more acquainted with pineapple pizza as a cuisine. Capybara on shoulder like an inbuilt pet. Ooh. Taylor the Female saying, I rely on AI to spell too real. Oh my gosh, imagine if we had AI in the spelling bee. Okay, so now that we had these three over here, let us change actually this width here. So instead of it being under layout auto width, let's set it to be auto height. So once we have auto height, I can drag, make it the same size over here, Same with this one. And what I can then do is I can create a frame of these. So I'm gonna just type in Option, Command F. Nope, that is searching Google. It is Option Command G, that's what it was. Option Command G. Option Command G to make it a frame. And then I'm gonna click on this image over here, sorry, this rectangle over here, and I'm gonna turn it into an image. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click Fill. I'm then gonna navigate to the fourth option here called Image. And then instead of uploading an image from my computer, I'm gonna leverage Figma AI, which is brand new from Config again over this past summer, or I guess recently, it was like a month ago. And I am going to make an image for this. So let's use what everyone is saying in chat. So a photograph of, or a photo of hackers eating pineapple pizza while petting capybaras at a capybara petting zoo inside of the Metreon in San Francisco at CalHack's UC Berkeley's Premier Hackathon. Is that how you spell Premier? Oh, I messed up the I. Okay, and then Metreon and CalHack's. Okay, and let's see if this is correct. Oh, GPT image one. Oh, that's so cool. You can select it now. Oh, you're so right, Anushka. It's spelled fictitious. I'm definitely slandering pineapple on pizza in my stream this week. LOL. That is so funny. Okay, so as this is creating it, it should be done in a second, but let's go ahead and move on here. So, oh wow. Why does he have a mask on? Oh, this is not pineapple on pizza. This is cursed. Looks like an apple turnover. Oh, these are nice capybaras though. US Rablois printer hackathon. Oh, that's awesome. I don't even think that's the Metreon. I think they got close, but that's not the Metreon. Okay, so now that we have our definitely interesting photo, I see, okay, real quick in chat, I see Rati Jindal saying, how do we select the AI version as Google image? So I'm not entirely sure how we can use VO3. That might be coming sometime in the future, but it had their own image gen pre-selected. But yeah, I agree that the capybaras are really adorable. All right, let's go ahead and continue. So now that we have our card, let's go ahead and make it a little nicer. So we're gonna do something called, or we're gonna turn this into an auto layout frame. So to do that, I'm gonna hit the Shift A keybind, and you can see a little bit of spacing changed here. But let's talk about what is auto layout. This is my favorite part of any type of stream. It's talking about auto layout. So I want okay, oh, they have a design tool. This is awesome. I can actually draw on the canvas here. So, okay, so I'm gonna explain auto layout in an Amazon box example here, right? So you have this Amazon, oh, I overshot that a little bit. So you have this Amazon box over here. Is it working? Oh, this is wild. Okay, so we have this Amazon box, right? And let's say we have some packages. I'm gonna like draw an iPhone 16 Pro Max. So I'll just do I for iPhone. Let's say we have a, what else? Let's see, we have a brand new Switch 2 console. So I'm gonna put an S for Switch. And let's say we have a, what's another funny thing? Let's say we have a tiny Arduino, right? And I'll put A for Arduino. Is it raining outside? It is totally raining outside. That's wild. Okay, and we have an A for an Android. So the way auto layout works is, let's say we have, I'm gonna actually just group these together. Oh. Okay, so let's say we have this Amazon box and we want to describe or codify a way to describe the relation between all three of these inside the box, right? How do we describe the relationship of everything inside the box? Well, we can describe it in terms of where it is in relation to the box it's in, right? Sounds kind of intuitive, but also not intuitive. So what I can say is I want everything on the top left, aligned to the top left. If I did that, everything would look like this. If I said I want it center aligned, everything would then be aligned to the center. And so on and so forth with left aligned, right aligned, bottom right aligned, etc. So now that we have the coagulated mass of these three, or what's inside of our box, defined in relation to where it is in this Amazon box, how do we describe these three elements in relation to each other? Well, that's where we get justification and alignment. If you are familiar with Flexbox and CSS, that's align items, and that's also justify content. So the way we do that is we'll say, I want this Amazon, or sorry, this Arduino here to hug the wall. This is what we call justify between in CSS, or in Flexbox CSS. This means that we want all of the spacing to be evenly distributed between the elements. If we want it to be evenly between each item, we would then use justify evenly. And that would mean that the spacing in between each side of each element is the exact same. And then, of course, we have center here. Center alignment means that they're all next to each other. So, saying all of that, that's assuming that right now our Amazon box is aligning in a row fashion. Everything's in a row. But we also have column alignments, or column flows. So, if it was a column flow, instead of A being on the left side, it's now going to be on the top side. So this right here would be center alignment. If we wanted it to be, I guess the box isn't big enough, we can see if we can make it bigger. The box is a little bigger. If we wanted it to be like justify between, it would look like this. An even amount of space in between each item, not around each item. And that's what it would look like if it was a row fashion. Now, going back into our column example here, or sorry, a row example here. If we had a row, let's say we have too many elements to fit inside of the box, right? So I just grab these three elements here. And let's say our box was a lot smaller, like this big. Oh, let me just shrink this. Actually, I'll just add like another switch. Let's say that our box cannot contain it anymore. There's something called a wrapping row, or wrap around as a row, which means that if it hits the end of this, it's then gonna move on to the next row, like that. So if you think about it, having this row aligned fashion, row flow, where everything's aligned to the top left, with wrapping it as rows enabled, we're able to get what we think of as a catalog or a card gallery, which is what we're going for here. So let's now do that in CSS. So I'll look at chat now if anyone has any questions. No way my man referenced the Hongdae guy, LOL. Always use a Google search how to center a div, yeah, 100%. That used to be the story of my life way back in the day, 100%. Nowadays, if you want to center any div, there is like a quick pseudonym you can remember. In CSS, it's display flex. It's justify content center, and then it's align items center. That's how you center a div in CSS. After some time, this will become super familiar to remember. And I see in chat, any resource on how to use Figma as a data scientist? I'm not sure, but I can go look up one for you real quick. Yeah, so you can definitely find some stuff on the web. Figma actually has a YouTube video called Designing with Data, Bridging the Gap. So I'll drop that in chat if you're curious. But the idea around it is, even if you are a data scientist, you have a lot of data to show, right? You make conclusions based on your data. How do you present that in the most effective way? Because in the end, if you don't present what you found in an effective way, then you don't get the message across or your learning across. So it's really important to design with intent, which is what Figma helps you learn. So yeah, so now saying all of that and quickly, did I delete it? I should delete it. Let me just undo that. Where did my box go? Oh, there it is. Okay. So saying all of that, let's go ahead and apply those concepts to this example here. So what we're going to do is, now that we have everything in auto layout, or again, if you don't have it enabled, just hit Shift A to convert to auto layout. You should see everything here. Let me go to design mode real quick too. Ooh. Okay. Now that we have everything in auto layout, you can tell it because instead of the frame saying layout, it says auto layout. We can then confirm that this card right here is vertical. We want to be vertical because we want to stack the image, then the title, then the description here. I am also going to, while I can, change this width to fill container. That way it takes up the entire space. And same with that, that's good to go. And that's also good to go. So yeah, we want it to be vertical. So we have it set as vertical, but it's aligned to the top right. Let's make it aligned to the top left just to make it easy to remember. And after that, we can go ahead and edit some of the details here. So let's change this gap here to 6 pixels or 6 units. Let's change the horizontal padding and the vertical padding to 24. This is so we can have some space around our card. Let's go ahead and set a fill of, let's make it white. And let's also add a stroke that is 2 pixels wide. And over here, we can set the border radius or the corner radius to, what should we set to? Let's do 16. And yeah, just like that, we have a card now. That should be perfectly fine. So we now have our first UI card. So if you see, it wasn't too bad. With the explanation, that only took 10 minutes to create an entire UI card here. So let's go ahead and continue to the next step. Let's now make a UI card gallery. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the frame tool by clicking F. I'm going to drag over this card and just whatever size works here. This is going to mimic what our view is in the browser. And from there, I am going to click on the frame again and hit Shift A. Shift A should turn it into a, again, auto layout, also known as Flexbox in CSS. And I can, wait, let's do something else. I'm going to put this card outside of it. I am going to make this auto layout, and then I'm going to drag this card back inside. No, okay, I think I need to set this to fixed. I'm going to set it to fixed width, and now I should be able to put it inside. There you go. Awesome. And now it mimics a viewport. So again, going back to this Amazon box, delivery box example, we want to have everything in a row. As you can see over here, we want it row. So on the right-hand side of the sidebar, we want to click the row button. We want to enable wrapping. And from there, we can keep it as aligned to the top left. After that, I also want to change a little bit of some of these details here. So I'm going to change the horizontal and vertical padding to 64 pixels or 64 units. I'm going to change the gap to 32. And we should be good to go here. So if all is said and done correctly, I should be able to select this UI card and Control-C, Control-V it a few times. And as we can see, as we add more and more cards, it's then going to be cut off because it's outside of our page viewport. So I'm also going to expand this a little bit so we can see more cards here. And yeah, just like that, we have a UI card gallery. So let's move on to the last step of this entire project, and let's turn this into actual code with dev mode. So I'm going to read chat real quick. Oh, no new messages. All good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to design mode, and I'm going to click this button on the top right that says ready for development. So when I mark it as ready for dev, when I go into development mode by clicking this button or hitting, I think, Shift D or Command D on Mac, yeah, Shift D, I should be able to see this frame immediately on my sidebar. Now, because I have uses for other global hack weeks, you can see these other ready for developments. If I, actually, I can see here, where is it? Yeah, I can see here the other components that are ready for development. So I can see all of them. using this Ready for Development tab. So you'll notice here that we have two sidebars, a left and a right sidebar. The left sidebar is where we can see all of our components or frames ready for development, as well as all the layers inside of it. And depending on what layer we select, so right now we're defaulted to selecting the root layer. If we select anything beneath that or descendant of that, we can see all of the styling information on the right-hand sidebar here. So if I go back here, you can see we have layer properties. This is using the box model where we have border, padding. Normally there's margin too, but they don't have margin here in what's it called, in Figma Design. And then we have the actual content, the box itself, or the content itself. So we can see beneath that in layer properties, we have code and we have list. List is how you view everything in a, I guess, code agnostic way. So we can see the flow is horizontal, width is fixed here, gap, etc., as well as the colors that we've defined and any assets that are here. So on top of that, we can see that in our code view, we're able to see everything generated as code, as well as text styles here. So the cool thing is Figma has something called code gens, and code gens are basically, think of it as different ways to convert designs to code. So right now, they have a lot of predefined ones. We have CSS, we have SwiftUI and UI Kit with iOS, we have Android with Compose and XML, and then we have the community of plugins. So we have this one that's really popular. We also have Anima and Localfy. I'm going to use this Figma to code one, and you can see this extends us even, or sorry, not even extends. It affords us so many more options to convert our designs to code. We see we can convert it to HTML, React JSX, Svelte, Style Components, Tailwind, JSX, Flutter, and SwiftUI. So if you're a Tailwind developer on React, you can use it here. Over here. Oh, that's Tailwind. Let's do Tailwind React, just like that. Or if we want to do vanilla, we can just do HTML. So pretty neat, I would say. And saying all that, I also saw there was a new setting here. Is it under CSS? You can select your units too, which is great. That is awesome. So yeah, let's go back into exporting to HTML with this code gen. Also, if you click the plugin tab, you can see all of the public code gens on the store. Some are paid, some are free. And from here, we can finally complete our project. Now that we have all of our code, I can copy this code, and what I'm going to do is I am going to go to my desktop. I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to name it GHW launch figma.html. And then in there, I can paste all of this code in. And if everything works well and everything is said and done, I should be able to open this up on my Chrome. So let me try that real quick. And yeah, there you go, just like that. Awesome. So just like that, we were able to create what is essentially a gallery. We're able to create a UI card gallery. You can see here that we have all of our cards that are scrolling down. We have placeholders for all of our images. We have the titles, we have the descriptions, etc. And just like that, we were able to turn all of our designs into code. So hopefully that is pretty neat, pretty cool. In about 20 minutes, we have designed this entire gallery UI, and we have converted to code. Pretty neat. And if you think about it, during a hackathon setting, being able to turn designs into code this fast is super beneficial and gives you a higher chance of finishing your project in the short amount of time you have. So, saying all of that, let's go ahead and go back to our presentation here. Let's scroll through everything we just did. And yeah, voila, that's it, we're done. So we have, again, designed a web mockup with Figma Design and converted to code with Figma Dev Mode. And if you want to experiment even further, you can use Figma for VS Code and interact with Dev Mode straight in your IDE. So if you want to learn more or you enjoyed it, feel free to go to the Figma Learn or the Figma Resource Centers for like a lot more information than we covered here. It's really helpful. But besides that, if you have any other questions or feedback, feel free to drop it in chat or scan this QR code and I'll answer them as I can. But if there are no questions, then we will end the stream. All right, Well, I don't see any questions in chat. So, to wrap everything up here, thank you all for joining me this Global Hack Week. This is my last stream this week. I hope you all enjoyed learning Figma design and Figma dev mode with me, or if you joined me yesterday learning how to use Git and version control systems. Besides that, if you want to catch the next stream, we have Varshini coming up in about 20 minutes for her Intro to Web Development Part 3 workshop. So besides that, I want to quickly shout out everyone. Thank you, Anushka, saying Ride Goat, 789 saying giving me 3 purple hearts. Thank you so much. Or I see the name 789. That's pretty funny. 789. Besides that, thank you all for joining me this Global Hack Week, and I'll see you next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.